Raquel, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your last name right. Aurelia.
Aurelia. Yep, perfect. Yep.
Okay, so how did you get started in music, and what drew you to the craft?
I started around, gosh, probably over 20 years ago. I'd always wanted to be in music. I didn't know how to get started. So I met a producer in Los Angeles named Tony Papa, and he produced for like Weird Al Yankovic and James Brown. And he's a really, really amazing producer. We met through a mutual friend, and he sent me a couple songs. And then next thing you know, we are doing a whole album together. So that's kind of how that started, just the introduction to him. And once I sang the songs for him, he asked if we could do an album together. So that's how it all started.
Okay, are there any artists in particular that you were greatly influenced by?
I want to say growing up, I used to listen to I like the old school stuff. I like Billy Joel, I like Elton John. Like more current people, I like Adele, I love Pink, Ciara. I'm all over the map when it comes to influence people that have influenced me. So I kind of have a very diverse music taste, I should say.
All right. So who are some of the singers you'd like to collaborate with in the future?
Um, to be honest, I would love to collaborate someday with Pink. I mean, that would be a dream come true because she's amazing. I'm trying to think of who. I wouldn't say no to any of those people I just named.
Wow.
I would love to collaborate with even like a Blake Shelton or a Carrie Underwood, because I do a lot of country crossovers. So a lot of the songs I write do have a very country undertones and vibe to them. So I would love to collaborate with a country singer as well.
Okay. So what was the biggest challenge you had to overcome being in this music industry?
I think the biggest challenge for most artists is just knowing where to start or how to start. So I didn't know how to start. So like, luckily, I met somebody in the industry already, and that's kind of how it started. But you have to be careful who you trust, and you have to make sure that you have a good team behind you of people that you can trust because there's a lot of false promises, and especially nowadays on the internet you got to be really careful because there's so many people promising you whether it's Spotify. Sorry, there goes my dog. Can you hear my dog?
It's fine.
Okay, do you want me to close the door or...
It's fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Okay. So yeah, sorry about that. It never fails. So anyway, it's one of those things where you have to just be careful because I get hundreds of emails from people promising you, whether it's Spotify streams or it's, oh, I can get you this or I can do this or I can book you shows. And, you just can't believe everybody because I learned the hard way a couple of times for people that promised things that really couldn't deliver.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, you know,
Right. Like faulty promoters and
yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah. So what's one thing that you would change in the music industry?
I think if it were me, I would like to change, I guess just maybe, there's labels back in the day, labels were the way to go. And a lot of people are doing it their independent way now. Like a lot of indie artists are just doing their own thing. And it's just frustrating. I think I would change more where there is more showcases or more opportunity for independent artists to get their music heard because I know a lot of amazing artists that'll never see, unfortunately, they just don't have the right people or contacts, but they're just amazing that don't get the opportunity. So I would like to see more showcases where more A&R or more people come to or attend. Just I'd love to see more of that. That's just more opportunity.
Okay, and what do you feel makes you stand out in this industry?
um I think, so sorry with my dog.
Fine.
Can
No, it's
you
fine.
hear it? It's
It,
so bad. It never fails. They'll be quiet until you have to do an interview.
uh, it's totally fine.
Anyway, I think, let me ask you the question again. Say it again.
What do you feel makes you stand out in this industry?
I feel like, well, I have a different sound. It's not really a specific sound versus, like, I don't think I sound like anyone in particular. And my music is a little bit, like I say, country crossover, switches over from country and adult contemporary. So I feel like my music stands out in that way where it's different. It's a different sound. It's
Mhm.
my own sound. And I think like now, just having that in itself is to me a way to stand out, and without trying to, because obviously it's just me being me, but a lot of artists, they sound, and you know when their songs are up, you know that's their song. It's very pronounced, but I don't think that that's the way with my music. I don't know that you would be able to say, hey, that's her song. You know what I mean? I know that sounds funny, but I don't know that each song is so different in the way it's produced, in the way it's sung, the way it's written. So
So, what advice would you give for a struggling artist right now?
I think that I would say, I would I would tell any struggling artist to just continue the journey, continue to put your energy into your music. And now with the internet, you can do so much. So if there is a struggling artist, you don't have to have a lot of money to start. And with YouTube and TikTok and Insta Reels and all that, you can do so much now. Without even having to have a dime to, go and post your videos, keep writing. I would tell struggling artists to write as much as they can, collaborate as much as they can with other artists, so that they can, have more opportunity to get their music out there. And anytime you collaborate, that's two people pushing towards the same goal of wanting to get your music out there. So I think it's important to just always write, always stay, um, busy with your craft. And it doesn't take anything. Like, you can do that, like nowadays, like I said, with the internet, you can do so much.
So, what's your next project going to be?
I have a new single coming out next week. It's called "Alone with You," and that'll be, it's kind of in between, like, again, a country crossover song, feel good song, love song. So that's exciting. And then I have a Christmas song coming out first part of November. It's a little too early to release it, but it's finished, and it's called "Christmas One More Time." So that's my second Christmas song that I've written, and it really came out really good. It's really a song about my memories as a child with my grandma. She was kind of like our core, and we would spend Christmas with her, and just to have that one more moment or that one more special memory. So yeah, it's more of a touching song. It's not as happy as my last year's song was very happy and feel good. This is a more like a more memory stirring song, I guess you could call it. So yeah,
So more nostalgic.
yep, definitely. And I mean, I think people that have heard it so far, they like it. Some people have gotten sad because it reminds them of memories they had with loved ones that have passed, or just having that opportunity to be together again with your family. Whether sometimes when as you get older, people change and they go in their directions, and that those Christmases when we were younger were just so amazing. So I think people, it'll drum up different emotions in different people. But it came out really pretty, and I co-wrote it with a producer named Billy Smiley, and he's amazing. So yeah, and he's in Nashville.
So, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Hopefully, I see myself touring more. Once the pandemic hit, I started doing more shows, but I haven't done as many shows. Like, I haven't been as busy actually touring. So I'd like to be on tour. I'd like to get back on another tour. My last tour was with John Waite, and that was a few years back. So I was fortunate enough to go on tour with him. Like, we did about 25 shows together, and he was amazing. I learned so much from that tour. So I'd love to get on another tour like that. Um, Completely writing more and more songs. I mean, I try to write, as many songs as I can, as much as I can. So that's another thing that I will, do as much as I possibly can do is within the next 5 to 10 years. But I do see more and more music for sure. So that's always a given. Like, I can't go 2 or 3 months without writing more and more music. So that's always going to be in my wheelhouse.
Well, Raquel Aurelia, thank you for your time, Miss. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.